this is the spot for that wow, I'm really in Sevilla moment. Salud! The largest wooden structure in the world. I'm here completely alone. I don't think a lot of people know about this. You can see the orange peel inside. Good morning from a sunny Sevilla. It's my first day in the city and it's going to be a big one. You and I, have a lot of ground to cover, and we're actually starting at one of the main sites of Sevilla, the big cathedral. I've been told that when they were planning the design of the church, the builders got the following instructions: let's make a church so beautiful and magnificent that those who will see it finished will think us mad. Apart from its beautiful stained glass windows, another reason to visit the cathedral is to see the tomb of world-famous explorer Christopher Columbus. Even though the remains in here might not be Columbus, look it up, it's quite the interesting and confusing story. Anyway, back to the cathedral, because there was an entire exhibition dedicated to Semana Santa, the Holy Week. It's one of Sevilla's most important traditions, where the city transforms into a moving stage of faith and devotion. It's a huge deal here, massive processions, beautifully decorated floats, and brotherhoods preparing all year for it. So getting to see all these artifacts up close was such a cool insight into an event I actually didn't know much about. Another must-see is the Giralda Tower, accessed by a ramp that spirals higher and higher until you reach the bells themselves. From up here, you see the city unfurling into the distance, the Baroque rooftops of the cathedral, and the courtyard of orange trees beneath you. These trees were planted here in the late 12th century, when Sevilla was still under Muslim rule, and as with a lot of cathedrals in Andalusia, this one actually used to be a mosque, which you can still see in the details of the tower we just climbed. Now, of course, being the language nerd that I am, I wanted to know where the name came from. So, Giralda means she who turns, and as it turns out, it's named after the figurine on top. According to legend, King Fernando III ordered this weather vane to be placed on top to sort of symbolize the triumph of Christianity over Muslim rule. On the nose, if you ask me. I then wandered into a side street, which brought me to the lovely Plaza del Cabildo, a serene courtyard wrapped in graceful arches, where you can also see part of the ancient city walls. Under one of the arches of the plaza, I found this little shop filled with vintage posters of Sevilla's events. Semana Santa, bullfights, the Feria de Sevilla. Alright, after these vintage posters, I'm gonna take you to even more vintage times, the age of exploration. It's also known as the age of discovery, and it was between the early 15th century to the 17th century, during which European nations basically extensively explored the world, establishing new trade routes, colonies, getting to know all these new lands and cultures. Now, as you might know, Spain was a significant player during this time, and I'm not just talking about their key explorer, Christopher Columbus, also Hernán Cortés, Francisco Pizarro. They conquered vast territories in the Americas, but it all had to start somewhere. And believe it or not, the first documented circumnavigation of the world started here in Sevilla. And if you're now thinking, wait, Sevilla, isn't that like in the middle of Spain basically? Well, I mean, sort of. It's inland. Yes, that's right. But it's also along a river that goes all the way to the ocean. The museum walks you through Spain's earliest voyages, the building of the ships, the stories of the men who sailed them, and how their discoveries reshaped the world. Among them, of course, the expedition led by Magellan, the first to circumnavigate the globe, beginning right here on the banks of Sevilla's river. What's really cool is that they have a full-size replica of the sole ship that returned from the voyage, because the city council commissioned it for the 500th anniversary of the homecoming of the ship. really wasn't that big. This is one side of the ship, and then that is already the other side. Just a minute's walk from the ship, you'll find the Tower of Gold. Opinions on how the tower got its name, they're a bit divided. So some say the gold that came in here from the Americas was stored in the tower. Others say it's because of the golden gleam the tower would have when the sun was out, because of the construction materials used for the tower. It was time for breakfast. So I walked to this super tiny cafe with lots of plants and a nice top-down view on the kitchen. Next on the itinerary was the Archive of the Indies, a stunning building that holds the entire collection of documents from Spain's Age of Exploration. Housed here in a straight line. It's over 9 kilometers long, which, thinking about it now, how they know that might be the better fun fact, no? Oh, it's so beautiful though. Like also the ceilings and all these shelves and shelves full of documentation. It's really visually pleasing. Another visually pleasing spot to check out is the old Royal Tobacco Factory, whose historic walls now house part of Sevilla's university. My university did not look like this. Triana, Triana, que bonita está Triana. So goes the famous flamenco lyrics. Just across the river from the city center, Triana is a barrio full of pride and character. Historically home to a large gypsy community, it's also the cradle of flamenco dancers, bullfighters, and a thriving pottery tradition. While the neighborhood has changed over time, the local pride and uniqueness remains. So if you're looking to escape Sevilla's tourist center and hit some very local tapas bars, then Triana is the perfect spot. When the sun starts to set, Triana's tapas bars fill up and the streets hum with life. Speaking of tapas, as with most traditional and beloved activities, theories abound on its origin. So for tapas, some say it all started with bartenders covering a glass of wine with a slice of ham or bread to keep flies and sand and dust from getting in. And given that tapa is the Spanish word for lid, this theory seems to hold up. Now, there's also another story that says it wasn't bartenders, but the actual king, Alfonso X, aka Alfonso the Wise, who came up with the idea. Él sabía lo que era bueno. Right, so the story goes, the king was sick and he had to consume small amounts of food with wine to get back to his full strength. Another version, however, says the king wasn't supposed to drink any alcohol at all, but he wasn't having any of that, so the doctor told him, well then at least eat something with every drink that you pour. Whatever the initial reason, once the king was fully recovered, he found this method so successful and pleasurable that he henceforth ordered no wine to be served unless accompanied by something to eat. So whether it was to keep beverages clean or to stop the king from getting too drunk, tapas nowadays is synonymous with how people in Spain eat a lot of the time. But it's actually more than that. People don't just eat tapas, they do tapas. Yes, doing, because the activity even has its own vocabulary. So tapear is the meeting up with people to go out and eat tapas. Tapeo is the activity of eating tapas itself. And then tapeador or tapeadora is the person who then eats the tapas. Speaking of, there are many great tapas places in Sevilla, but here are my personal favorites. Las Teresas, a small corner bar where I had some of the best jamón ibérico of my life. Then there's Morales, where you can taste an amazing vermouth and where the menu is written on the barrels themselves. Or head to Flor de Toranzo, a spot far from the tourist crowds where you can enjoy an endless parade of freshly made sandwiches. However, I think my all-time favorite must be the tiny Álvaro Perejil, where you can try orange wine and some very Andalusian tapas like spinach with chickpeas. Doesn't look too tasty at all, but gosh, was it delicious. This is the spot for that wow, I'm really in Sevilla moment. The Plaza de España was built for the Ibero-American Exposition of 1929 and features 48 stunning alcoves decorated with intricate azulejos, the traditional ceramic tiles used in Spain and Portugal. Each alcove depicts a different Spanish province with a relevant fresco and a map. Some people call it the Venice of Sevilla because in the middle of the square there's a small moat where you can rent a boat to row around. It's worth coming in the morning to see it without too many people there, but definitely come back in the afternoon to soak up the atmosphere and enjoy flamenco performances. No hay problema. Ole. Rómpelo. I'm now walking to my next site of the day, which is the Real Alcázar de Sevilla, aka the Royal Palace, and it's actually the oldest palace in Europe still in use today. Originally, the Alcázar was constructed as a fortress by Muslim rulers of the Umayyad dynasty in the 10th century. But later, after the Christian reconquest of Sevilla, the palace became a royal residence for Spain's Christian kings, evolving over centuries with various architectural additions. Nowadays, you can see a blend of Islamic artistic elements with Gothic, Renaissance, and Baroque influences, reflecting the unique cultural fusion that is Andalusia. When you leave the Alcázar, you find a little plaza with a bunch of orange trees. They are not looking so orange at the moment, but in about a month they will. In fact, the whole city of Sevilla will turn orange because of the 48,000 orange trees adorning the streets. Sevilla's oranges are actually quite famous, but also famously disgusting. Apparently they're way too bitter to eat straight from the tree, so what is done with them instead is they get collected when they are ripe by the city council, and then they sell them to the UK to be made into orange marmalade, which apparently they dig the Sevillan oranges for that. Yeah, I guess that's an interesting trade. Another cool and more local initiative though is by the municipal water company, which I'm gonna need my phone for this because there's a lot of information. So they ferment the oranges, generating methane, which is then captured and used to generate electricity. They want to expand the program
utilizing these city's oranges to potentially power up to 73,000 homes annually. Who knew? Renewable energy from orange trees. I love it.
After visiting the Alcázar, do make sure to wander through the Santa Cruz neighborhood. This is the old Jewish quarter, which is full of charming buildings and narrow, winding alleyways.
This structure right behind me is the Metropole Parasol, which is designed by architect Jürgen Meyer after he won a competition to revitalize the square. The name resembles the cosmopolitan character of Sevilla, as well as the original purpose of the structure, which is a sunshade. It also has a nickname, Las Setas de Sevilla, aka Seville's mushrooms, because of, well, its shape. And it's actually the largest wooden structure in the world. I mean, if you look at it, you can already guess, right? It's so big. I mean, it spans all the way over the streets to the other side of this huge square. I quickly want to mention two other places that are actually quite close to here and might be interesting to you. Casa de Pilatos and Casa de Condensa de Lebrija. The first one is a beautiful 16th century civil palace, and where the royals used to live, but the aristocrats. The second one is a 16th century home as well, which was later restored by the art-loving Countess of Lebrija, hence the name.
It was time for a snack, the perfect excuse to try a unique Sevilla staple. Besides the big cathedral, there are over 100 churches in Sevilla. This doesn't only mean they got busy spreading the word, but also something else, convent cookies.
¿Yemas, por favor? ¿En papel o en caja? En caja, por favor. Gracias. Gracias.
Alright, so I found myself a patch of green. I'm in Luisa Park, and it's right behind the Plaza de España. You guys know me by now. In any big city, I just need to find a patch of nature to just chill for a little bit. And yeah, also there's loads to see here. I mean, cats apparently, but also there's these little birds that you can hear right now, these parrots, and there's huge geese. And just look at that.
Oh, hi. Wow, you're huge, man.
So yeah, I thought, what better place to enjoy my yemas than in a park? So that's why I came here. Oh, she like... No! Can I not open this? No! Oof, okay, we're good. False alarm. So cute. So as you see, there's 6 in this one, but you can basically order how many you want. You can see on the menu in which quantities they sell them. So let's try one out now, shall we? This is what it looks like. Quite big, actually. Wow. You can see the orange peel inside. I mean, it is sugary, like for real. Obviously, it's completely covered in sugar. On the inside, it's soft, like almost like orange pulp, but a bit more gooey, but in a good way. Yes. I really don't know how to describe it to you guys. You just should come over here and try for yourselves, I guess. Yeah, I like it. However, if you're not really into super sugary stuff, then maybe this one is not for you. There are a bunch of other convents around Sevilla that offer different nun cookies, convent sweets, magdalenas. So yeah, I'll put a few on screen that I didn't get a chance to visit, but I heard were good. And also, this convent is not the only one with a torno, so you can definitely find some other place, yeah, where you can have this cool local experience.
Just 7 kilometers outside of Sevilla lies Itálica, the first Roman settlement in Spain and the birthplace of 2 emperors, Trajan and Hadrian. Here you can walk through well-preserved ruins from the vast amphitheater, one of the largest in Roman history, to the remains of Roman houses, streets and public buildings. For the fans of Game of Thrones, Itálica might look familiar as the amphitheater doubled as the Dragon Pit in Season 7.
This used to be one big building, and then this right here is the Cathedral, which is a room where they held important meetings and banquets. And then this is the opus sectile, which is basically geometrical shapes as floor decoration, and it's all made from types of marble. You know what's so remarkable about this place? First off, it's free for you citizens. I mean, I find that with a lot of places actually in Spain, so definitely only for that worth a look. Especially seeing as it's just 20 minutes from Sevilla by bus, right? And also, I mean, I'm here completely alone. I don't think a lot of people know about this. There's only a few other people at the next section, but yeah, as you can hear, just birds and the ruins and me. Just incredible. So this area would be their communal toilet, and then these seats, which are all toilet holes, basically, they would run up until here, with even something beautiful to look at while you're at it. It's a bit of a rainy one today, a bit cold as well, but yeah, I thought what better thing to do on sort of a rainy day, at least a moody day, than go vintage shopping and cafe hopping. So that's my plan for today also, because today is Thursday, which means the biggest flea market of Sevilla is today. So I'm walking over there now, hoping, yeah, they're still out even though it is a bit rainy. But yeah, I guess we'll see.
my last evening, I decided to dress up and take myself somewhere nice to do some journaling. My location of choice was Bar El Comercio, a family-run bar that has been serving locals for over a century. The bar's vintage ambiance, complete with original tilework and wooden counters, offer a nostalgic glimpse into Sevilla's past, making it ideal for some nostalgic reminiscing on my own journey in the city. I found a cozy corner, took out the postcards I bought earlier, and transferred my memories onto paper. Next week, I pick up a little Fiat 500 and my mom, and together we'll embark on a road trip to the most beautiful white villages that Andalusia has to offer. I hope you'll come along for the ride.